first album that I'm going to start with, and the first album that came to mind, was the Dangerous album art from Michael Jackson's 1991 album. And there's so much going on in this album art. Um, and I mean, let's just start with, of course, you can see at the very top of the image, you can see Michael Jackson's eyes. You see his eyes, which is kind of telling, as it's kind of gives that feeling of like he's hiding behind something. And then when you see all of the elaborate images and symbolism around it, so whether we're talking about the animals, the circus animals, you can even call it just a circus in itself. He's hiding behind a circus, but the real human is behind that. You can see within that little, in the middle, in that little corridor, if you like, it's almost like a conveyor belt. And then you can see the earth is sat in the middle, but it's almost like it's sat in a darkness, which I think kind of connotates the ills of the world. And then if you look at the trail, you can also see there's like a gun. There looks like there's a syringe. There's almost like a death symbol there, as if to say, if you kind of walk in the way of the world, and this is just in my opinion, but if you walk in the way of the world, it can kind of lead you astray. So I think that's interesting. But speaking of that image of the eyes of Michael Jackson, that is actually not the only image of him on this artwork. So if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you can also see him, which you could even argue is him coming out of the conveyor belt. You can see him sat as his younger self with the afro. You can see he's sat there. And he's coming out of the door or the chamber with just above it, you see the eye, of course, within kind of music symbolism, if you like. The eye is obviously kind of an authoritative figure above artists who kind of, what's the word? Let's just say dictate or play a huge role in their artistry and their performance in the marketing of their material and so on and so forth. But there's another image of Michael Jackson, actually. If you look just behind this gentleman who is in the tuxedo, there's actually an image of him just above the guy's head. And he's there. He's in his kind of signature Michael Jackson jacket, and you can see him with his glasses. But it's so concentrated in everything else that's going on. It is actually very difficult to actually see that, but it is there. Of course, you're seeing a lot of gold, which kind of symbolizes kind of the royalty and the nature of kind of how far he's come.